Pakistan is in the middle of its general elections and amidst cries of widespread rigging. The elections, of course, are over. The result counting process, though, of course, continues. And there are cries of widespread rigging. The candidates affiliated to the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf seem to have taken a lead in the polls as the results, of course, continue to trickle in. Remember, already over 24 hours have passed since the results started coming in. Three-time former PM Nawaz Sharif, though, has over the course of the day declared victory, rescinded his declaration and reportedly secured a post-poll alliance with the Pakistan's People's Party led by Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and his father Asif Ali Zardari. The Pakistan People's Party secured a strong showing in the polls as well. And in the current situation, with no party crossing the magic number of 134, the PPP could emerge as the role of kingmaker. International observers, though, have stated dismay at the delay and reports of mobile data being suspended mid-polls and other allegations of rigging as well. Social media is also rife with videos of army and police units locking poll booths while people were casting their votes. Also, visuals have emerged of ballot box destruction. Presently, independent sources indicate that affiliates of the PTI contesting as independent candidates are winning 100 seats, while the Sharif brothers PMLN are winning 73 seats. The PPP currently is standing at 53 seats. While other candidates have secured 30 seats of the 266 available seats in the National Assembly. Well, let's quickly listen in to reactions that have followed these results in Pakistan.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन। मेरे पाकिस्तानियों, आपने कल वोट देकर अपनी हकीकी आज़ादी की बुनियाद रख दी है। मैं आप सबको इलेक्शन 2024 जीतने पर मुबारकबाद देता हूं। मुझे आप सब पर पूरा भरोसा था कि आप वोट देने निकलेंगे। आपने मेरे भरोसे का मान रखा और आपके मैसिव टर्नआउट ने सबको हैरान कर दिया है। लंदन प्लान फेल हो चुका है आपके वोट की वजह से। नवाज शरीफ एक कम ज़र्फ इंसान है जिसने ऑफिशियल नताइज के मुताबिक 30 सीट्स पीछे होते हुए भी विक्ट्री स्पीच कर दी है। कोई पाकिस्तानी उसे नहीं मानेगा और इंटरनेशनल मीडिया भी उस बेवकूफ़ी पर लिख रहा है। इंडिपेंडेंट ज़राया के मुताबिक 150 नेशनल असम्बली की सीट्स पर हम जीत रहे थे धांधली शुरू होने से पहले, और इस वक्त हम 170 से ज़्यादा नेशनल असम्बली की सीट्स पर जीत रहे हैं फॉर्म 45 के डेटा के मुताबिक। मेरे पाकिस्तानियों, आप सब ने तारीख़ रकम कर दी है। मुझे आप पर बहुत फ़ख्र है और मैं अल्लाह का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ कि उसने हमें एक कौम बना दिया है। अब हमें ऊंची परवाज़ से कोई नहीं रोक सकता। आखिर में आपने घबराना नहीं है, सेलिब्रेट करें और शुक्राना के नफल पढ़ें। 2 साल के सख्त जुल्म और नाइंसाफ़ियों के बावजूद हमने 2024 इलेक्शंस 2/3 अक्सरियत से जीत लिया है। सब ने आपके वोट की ताकत देखी है। अब वोट की हिफाजत करने की सलाहियत भी दिखाएं। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद।
Bhashpati Mukherjee, former diplomat, joins us live. Major General Sudhakar Ji, defence expert, is also with us on the broadcast. Robindra Sachdev, international affairs expert, is live with us. Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, also joins us live on the program. Let me begin with you first, Professor Nalapat. What do you make of the way the entire results and counting process is transpiring in Pakistan, and also the trends that are being thrown up?
Well, the last time you had a fair election in Pakistan was in 1970. And you will recall from your reading of history that the Awami League won that election and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman ought to have been the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Instead of which, what happened was a brutal crackdown was instituted in what was then East Pakistan. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed. Millions were basically had to flee or were driven out of what is now Bangladesh. And you know the mess that happened. After that, I don't believe there's ever been a fair election in Pakistan. And certainly this election has not been fair. We have multiple, this form that Imran Khan was talking about, Form 45. The fact is that many candidates had the form, and but they found to their surprise that the Election Commission had declared candidates with a much lower tally, sometimes the 3rd, 4th or 5th in tally as the winning candidates. So at the same time, as you saw on your videos, a lot of ballots were destroyed, fresh ballots were put in. The whole thing was rigged. And despite the rigging, the creditable thing is that Imran Khan's independence secured about 100 seats. Now, they would have gone to maybe 160, 180. I'm told they would have secured about 80 more. Had there not been rigging, it would have been almost a clean sweep because the public is sick and tired first of all, of these two families, Zardari and Sharif, interchanging with each other and running Pakistan. And they're sick and tired of the military and its interference in their lives. And they now realize that what the military has done through their puppets, if I may say so, is to create a meltdown in their lives through the downfall of the Pakistan economy. So, despite all the rigging, Imran Khan's party has emerged as the largest party. Now, I don't believe that they are going to team up with either Nawaz Sharif or the PPP. And so far, the PPP is concerned, Bilawal still nurses very justifiably a grudge against Nawaz Sharif for all that he connived at, where his mother was concerned. Shabaz Sharif does not have a similar kind of odium attached to his name. I don't think Bilal will be very happy at a PPP combination with PMNL led by Nawaz Sharif. And secondly, the fact is that even with the rigging, these two parties, I'm not sure that they'll get a majority. So what has happened is the plans of the military have failed completely. To some extent, the voters in Pakistan have emerged victorious. And I can tell you one thing, if there is a government that is formed, unless it is formed under the leadership of the PTI and Imran Khan, believe me, this country is headed for way more problems than it has been witnessing the last 2 years.
Pashupati Mukherjee, what do you make of, the entire way that the trends, of course, have surprised many with the, independence, of course, leaping ahead backed by the PTI. But how now we are seeing, attempts being made to, cobble together a coalition with now declarations by Nawaz Sharif claiming victory. Ambassador Mukherjee? Okay, I think we're having some trouble there with her connection. Do we have Major General Sudhakarji with us? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Major General Sudhakarji, international observers and many governments, the UN, are expressing concern at what is transpiring in Pakistan. Concern, of course, being expressed, but will anything change within Pakistan is the big question, Major General Sudhakarji. Do these results surprise you? What do you make of it?
Uday, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show, and my compliments to our co-panelists and particularly the previous speaker, Professor Nalapat. And it couldn't have been better covered than what he has said. Okay, allow me a minute, if you don't mind. In your channel only, if you recall, I had made a statement much prior to the elections were held that this is what is the great design of Pakistan army is, the deep state. The deep state would prefer to have a fractured mandate or a hung parliament so that they can exercise their control or leverage a kind of a control over either of the parties. Number one. Number two, you see, we need to factor in a couple of issues. One issue is this is for the first time that a political leader, none other than an erstwhile prime minister who's presently in jail, had gone to the street. For the first time in the history of Pakistan, that people of Pakistan have gone to the street against the Pakistan army. The deep state has been challenged. That is a notable milestone in the history of Pakistan. So my fear is that yes, Imran Khan may be in the jail for the time being, but look at the reality, the pragmatism, the practical outcome is that his independent candidates affiliated to his party are the topmost. They have secured the highest numbers, 100. So therefore, the day is not far. Maybe for lack of correct parallels and examples, I would say he's a Nelson Mandela in making as far as Pakistan is concerned. Although there are lots of different attributes. Maybe the Zimbabwean leader, Mugabe, perhaps he's one of those, although he's the international cricketer, his paradigm and the area of interest is totally different. Look at the popularity. So for the time being, let it be as it is. But let's now take a look at what is happening around. And is there anybody who's actually steering it? In my understanding and research, Definitely, because Pakistan is virtually drowning as a nation state. Talk about the economic lurch, talk about the constitutional crisis, talk about the diplomatic failures, talk about anything. The debt itself is 77.5. Today I was reading in the newspaper, $77.5 billion required for next 3 years for debt servicing. The rate of inflation, now, it has spiked in the month of January, this year only, 2024. It is 28%. And the Forex reserve is $8.2 billion, just a measly sum. So, what I'm trying to, and they are actually smuggling oil from Iran just to sustain the routine requirement of Pakistan army. The tanks don't have oil. The vehicles do not have oil and fuel. The aircrafts do not have ATF. Well, look at what happened in Quetta, near that much where that district prison was being attacked. The Pakistan army did not respond to the Majid Brigade or the Balochi Liberation Army's attack few days back. And look at the casualty which the Pakistan army had to incur. So, taking all these factors into consideration, my personal take is, firstly, I am not surprised. Number two, there is going to be a hung kind of a parliament. Number three, I would like to highlight, I was just browsing the document, the Pakistan Election Commission's document, the guidelines or the principles. There is an Article 98 which says that 14 days after the elections are held, until then, the Election Commission has got the leeway to decide which party to come into power. My understanding is all the independent candidates, and as per the inputs which I am getting from multiple sources, there is a backdoor kind of a negotiation which is already in progress with the independent candidates. If not all, some of them are going to ally and join the Nawaz Sharif's party, and Nawaz Sharif will be able to, lead the political dispensation in Pakistan. No matter, it may be challenged in due course of time. My understanding is maximum Nawaz Sharif's party will be tenable for about 3 years. Again, he may be subjected to similar kind of exposure or the journey which Imran Khan or he himself has actually gone through. So Pakistan is in turmoil. Pakistan will continue to experience very intense kind of a turmoil in times ahead. It will face all problems. Look at the western border, the security paradigm. The western border is boiling actually. It is on fire. And thank God, India is a good neighbor, mature neighbor, responsible neighbor. We are not tinkering or fingering Pakistan. If we want, we can play merry hell with them. And number two, look at the spike in the terrorist activities, 560 times. From the date the Taliban went into Afghanistan, maybe my figure is wrong, but this is the latest I could browse in just about half an hour's time. 560 times increase of terrorist attack inside Pakistan. Talk about the Tehrik Taliban Pakistan, or the new name which they have coined, e-Jihad. Talk about the Taliban in Afghanistan. Talk about the Balochi Liberation Army. Talk about the Hindustan Liberation Front. Talk about anybody. Look at the kind of casualties which have incurred or been afflicted on Pakistan between August 2021 till now, particularly from November last year till now. The numbers are uncountable. So therefore, under the circumstances, it would do good that the deep state revises its strategy. Deep state takes its mind off from, artificially calibrating too much, and gives the democracy a chance to survive in Pakistan by ensuring autonomy and also a kind of a democratic functioning to four major pillars of a democracy: judiciary, number two, legislature, number three, executive, and number four is the media. These four primary elements of Pakistan today are virtually decayed. If they want to survive and revive the democratic forms of the Islamic Republic as Pakistan, they have to rewrite the constitution. They have to change the clauses of election process. The electoral process by the election commission also has to undergo change. Under the circumstances, as per the existing rules of the election commission of Pakistan, whichever party has got the majority will be allowed to go in, provided it is proved on the floor of the house. Back to you, Uday.
Yes, let me take that to Rabinder Sachdeva. Rabinder Sachdeva, what do you make of, this delay that we are seeing in Pakistan and the bizarre excuses that are being given of why the results are coming in so late? Also, this, huge rigging charges, misdemeanor charges, charges of ballot boxes being misplaced, polling booths being locked. The army also now, trying to, of course, hoodwink people. What do you make of these charges that, of course, are flying thick and fast within Pakistan concerning international entities and countries, and also what the trends are throwing up? Robinder.
Thank you so much, Uday. A pleasure and honor to be with you and Professor Nalapat and General Sudhakarji, and very wise from various prisms comments. I'll look at it couple of things and then I'll get down. One, to me, what it indicates that these elections in Pakistan, we have a meta narrative in India or globally that the army controls the state. Yes, it does. But I think what we've seen today are chunks in that armor. The army is not in complete control, and it's not, there's it's said that not even a bird would fly or flap its wings without the army knowing, allowing that bird to fly. No. One, it demolishes this myth, or the reality has changed, that the army is in complete control of the Pakistan state. One, in a big picture. Yes, sure, once we drill down, the army and the deep state definitely, they will manipulate the elected parliamentarians now, blackmail some, put some in jail, do whatever, etc. That's the next level. So the army in Pakistan does not control to a complete extent Pakistan. The voters of Pakistan do have expression. What the army does, if we were to look at this learning, is that once whatever legislators come, then the army blackmails, arm twists and all to create a government sympathetic to it. But down on the grassroots, once again, I feel the army of Pakistan does not control the voter of Pakistan. That's one big one. I think Professor Nalapat mentioned or related to that. So that's one. Second, in a big picture, very interesting, apart from everything else, the statement by Imran Khan that you played at the start of your program was an AI generated voice video, right? Surprisingly and very strangely, see, Imran Khan is in a prison. He cannot, I don't think he has access to any TV channels. He doesn't have. In fact, leading up to the campaign, the army tried and they banned any of his speeches on any of the televisions of Pakistan, whatever, social media. They took away their the party symbol, which identifies. So they try to do whatever else and multiple other things, right? But a very interesting aspect from this whole emerging world of, social new media, AI. So what this statement of Imran Khan that you played must have been created by some advisors of his who know him or who are his inner circle, who know what he thinks, and who created this, audio in Imran's voice, in the style of Imran, and got it out in the country. This is a huge development, Uday, not only in Pakistan, I would think in anywhere globally, as we will say. The leader may be anywhere, but given his background, context, everything, data mining, etc., what the leader would say. You create a video with the leader, get his message out. What it means for, in a bigger picture, is that you may put leaders in jail or extremists even, by the way, in jail, but their message can get out. That's a huge, interesting play in Pakistan which has come about. Thirdly, again coming back to the idea of Awam, it's said that in Pakistan is the three A's, Allah, Army, America, who rule the roost. I think this election has shown that there's a fourth A, the Awam. What the Awam bring up, yes, Beyond that, Allah and army and America may conspire or create, but it's the Awam which throws something. So there's a huge, there's a huge turmoil and change going on there in Pakistan. So let's see. But yes, coming down to what could happen, perhaps it could happen that, between Nawaz Sharif and Bilawal Bhutto. See, 134 is the magic number to have majority in the parliament, right? So between these two, Nawaz Sharif and Bilawal, they reach about 127. There are a few floating ones. And by the way, remember, in the independents who got elected, about 100 or so, not all of them are diehard Imran supporters. Apparently, about 10 odd are genuine independents, right? So let's say there are about 90 who are PTI aligned independents, but there are about 10 floating independents, so to say. So Nawaz Sharif, Bilawal Bhutto, with the army, push and pull and all, etc. All they need is another 7, members of parliament. So they could form the government. So that's one potential there to see. But again, yes, Nawaz Sharif, if he comes to power with this coalition, Pakistan army, I think, in a big picture, has been diminished. It has a reverse edge for us, and General Sudhakar and Professor Nalapad would obviously be more qualified than me to address this question. I would think that, given the fact that the army has been diminished, not as such, but generally, and this whole political turmoil going on, the army would try to create its own some adventures, or the deep state, to recreate, refurbish, enhance its raison d'etre. As I think, again, esteemed Chancellor, something in Balochistan, a huge something. Suppression. Pakistan's internal security is at stake. Some adventurism against India. I do think that could, the next coming months, if you were to look at the psychology of leaders or organizations, how they want to kind of positions and keep their empires, it's about keeping each their empires. So that's a danger heading for us. Now, coming back, even if Nawaz Sharif comes back or whoever comes back, assuming Nawaz Sharif and all, let's keep aside Imran. He's coming back to a country where I think both Professor Nalapat and Sudhakarji mentioned, by June 30th, they have to pay back $24 billion of foreign debt. June. And in the next 3 years, about $85 billion of foreign debt. Forget 3 years. June 24, right? $24 billion by this June. What the Nawaz Sharif government would have to do as soon as it comes to power, if it does, negotiate a loan with IMF starting March for another $3 billion on strict terms, lower taxes, higher removal of subsidies, etc., etc. Hugely unpopular, but they'll have to do it. Reduce defense pensions, impose taxes on 4G Foundation, $26-28 billion annual business. 4G Foundation pays zero tax. IMF is asking those conditions. Quick, I'll finish. So that's one. But beyond that, at most, it will get $1 billion from IMF in March. What about the wheat, oil, machinery, screws, everything that Pakistan imports every month? And $24 billion to repay. So what Pakistan will end up doing, I would really anticipate, not really, I do anticipate, within the next couple of months, if a Nawaz Sharif, whichever government comes, they will start to disinvest, divest their state assets. Be it Pakistan Telecom, be it Pakistan Life Insurance, Pakistan, whichever entities, Karachi Port and all, to get some hard dollars through these divestments. But that will still not be, not only not enough, it will not take them anywhere. But that's what they will have to do, logically speaking. So, and at the same time, concurrently, the challenges of, security in Balochistan, unrest, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And the beauty, by the way, of this election, one, I'll shut up after this. This election in Pakistan, parliamentary national election, I think
Yes.
there are no seats from Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan in this election. Pakistan claims that Azad Kashmir belongs to Pakistan and Gilgit-Baltistan also. These two regions have no parliamentary seats in Pakistan's assembly. So what is Pakistan talking about?
All of our guests for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.